Serhii Mirankov is also with us live from Kyiv. Good morning, Serhii. Good to see that you're safe today, my friend. What is your, what are you hearing about what's happening in Zaporizhia, Serhii? What's the nuclear facility has been attacked by Russia. They say they've taken control of it. What are you hearing? There's some confusion.
We hear a lot. It's a big problem. It's a big issue for not only for Ukraine. It's for the whole Europe because it's like a nuclear terrorism. Russians don't see any borders for themselves, and they are trying to unprotect the safe area around the Europe, and everybody knows it could be happen. It's very dangerous, and there were damages. There were a few bombs on the Zaporizhia. Right now in Kyiv, also it's air attack, but our air forces are working very well. So it's a striking time right now. So it's all going on.
I want to focus on what's happening in Kyiv. Has it been a peaceful night, or has there been a lot of explosions, a lot of shelling that's been reported in the capital?
Russians trying to surround Kyiv, and there were some attacks, but it's far away from Kyiv, around 70, 80 kilometers, because the Russian forces has any strength for the future, and they are waiting right now for the help from their borders. Their second army, Putin announced the mobilization. In Kyiv, it sounds like everything was okay. Some loots were struck by the police guys and by the security services. All the municipals are working very well. All the damages that were caused by rocket attack on our railway station, everything is okay right now. So evacuation is going on for everybody who needs this.
Okay, I want to just put on our screens just for a moment those pictures of that military convoy that's outside Kyiv, just for a moment, so we can talk about that with both Maria and Serhii, who are in Kyiv right now. When Maria was reporting right now, we heard another explosion. What kind of explosions are these, Maria, that you're hearing? Where are these happening? There have been some attacks overnight as well. Where are these explosions happening? What is the nature of them? And could we also show those pictures of that convoy? Yes, Maria.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell where these explosions happen because they're really far away, and we now have learned to distinguish. Oh, and one more right now. If you, I don't know if you have heard it, but just a second ago.
We can hear it just a little faintly. Yeah, you can describe it for us.
And one more. So what we know about this explosion, so it's hard to tell where they are happening because you can't see, the whole perspective, or you don't have satellite image or whatever. But the Defense Ministry have reported, and the Kyiv City Council also warned Kyiv people that these faraway blasts or sounds of explosions are the results of, and one more blast. The results of Ukrainian air defense system working. So this is just the explosions from Russian rockets being hit by Ukraine air defense system, and this is why such sounds can be heard. So this is not the sound of missile targeting some civil object on the ground, but the one missile targeting Ukrainian missile targeting Russian one in the air. So this is why such explosion can be heard over the city. So this is the official explanation of these sounds. And every day the Kyiv City Council, Kyiv Mayor also reminds people about staying safe and other safety measures. And also every time writes the sounds of these explosions were the work of air defense system. And as of now, I also want just briefly to get back to the situation in Zaporizhia Oblast in Enerhodar. Just moments ago, the mayor of Enerhodar posted on Facebook an update on what's going on in Enerhodar. So he says that there are no strangers, no Russians in the streets the Energodar town, but Energodar city actually. But he says that the heat pipeline was damaged heavily during these attacks, so the city is now cut off the heat. But no reports of cutting off the electricity or water supply. Only the heat has been cut off because of these strikes.
Serhii, speaking once again about the nuclear the nuclear facility that Russia claims it has taken over. Ukraine has 15 nuclear power plants. Over half of the energy and electricity needs of Ukraine comes from these nuclear facilities. Russia says it has taken over one of them. Isn't that a threat to, you know, the power requirements in the country? Your country is fighting a war, you're fighting an invading force. If they take control of your nuclear facilities, they will control your electricity.
As I said before, they will not only control our facilities about the electricity, they will control nuclear weapon, which could be produced, and it will be a big threat for all Europe and even for India. Truly, not far away. And for right now, I cannot tell you truly what is their head right now, but I'm sure that if they still control Chernobyl station, and the people who are servicing from Ukrainian side cannot be changed. They have no food. They have a bad health right now, and is still under the Russian control. And we don't know what could happen if the Belarus will support again from their border Russian army, and it could cause damage, as I said before, to the whole Europe. So I'm not afraid about the electricity. I'm bitter afraid about the nuclear weapon in Russian army.
Just a follow-up to you, Serhii. Are you and all the others in Kyiv, are you prepared then for a complete power blackout? How will you deal with that? Because it will mean that, it's pitch darkness, you can't charge your phones, none of that.
Kyiv is quite a big city with a big history, and for its long history, we're ready for any kind of changes with energy, electricity, with the heat, with the water. Everything will be fine. Our government, our local government works very well, hardly from day to day, so not any praise about this.
Maria, while you were talking to us right now, we've heard 3 explosions. You were describing the 3 explosions that were happening. Are things visibly intensifying? Yesterday was a, relatively quiet day in Kyiv. We were talking all about what was happening in Kherson, in the south. Today we're talking about Zaporizhia, which is also in the southeastern part of Ukraine. Is the focus going to be shifting, in your view, to Kyiv over the next 48 hours?
Not gonna give any, forecasts and expectations, because we all wish that wouldn't happen.
Yes.
And Kyiv stays safe and without siege. But according to what I've heard from the military people, from people who are well familiar with the situation, yes, sure. In terms of like a week from here, we will see more active battleground here in Kyiv, not in the center, but a bit closer to the center than it is now. So now there are no Russians in Kyiv, but there are military artillery launchers, for example, standing on the outskirts, or they are trying to go to get closer and closer to the city center. And yes, the outcome of these attempts would be seen in days from now. Not gonna say if it's 2 days or 3 days or a week, but sure, this is what they are preparing, and this is what Ukrainians are preparing. So the units of territorial defense in Kyiv are now being strengthened. They are ready to repel the attacks of Russians, and the Ukrainian armed forces also daily reports about new types of Russian military equipment being destroyed by Ukrainian aircraft or by Ukrainian other types of military also equipment or launchers. So this convoy, which has been talked about for days, which is going or coming to Kyiv from the north direction, this is also what has been in the focus of Ukrainian military, and they try, to make it not so long and not so big. And so far, there are some very successful attempts to do this, and the reports about the metal piles sitting on the roads towards Kyiv from the north are also surfacing, and as we see, everybody is preparing for Kyiv to be attacked, but also for Kyiv to be defended by Ukrainian armed forces. So, in a week, we would for sure see what would happen in Kyiv, but not going to give any more detailed, forecast, because nothing is predictable right now.
Understandable. Serhii, I see you're on the move, and I see you're out there in Kyiv. There's been a lot of concern, as Maria also pointed out, about these troops, this military convoy making its way towards Kyiv. And it's clear that Russia is essentially trying to surround Kyiv from all sides, thereby make it difficult for any supplies to reach you as well. What's happening on the ground? Can you show us around in Kyiv? Does it still, are people still staying indoors and not stepping out?
Right now, I can't film around because even my friends for the territory defense just make me strict because I'm filming, even despite them not filming all the territory. Let's be honest, it's not the best picture for right now. In the ground, I said before, we're ready. We making barricades. We are planning the supplies for all the kinds of the food, for the water, for civilians. Each day of the war give us much more information about this war, how to win, how to survive, how to collect, how to be ready for any kind of situation. So we're ready to war, and people are gathering. That's what I can say from the ground.
Serhii, one final question before we let both you and Maria go right now. The number of explosions that we've seen in Kyiv, the military convoy that is, maybe 25 to 30 kilometers from Kyiv at this point of time. What are you hearing about that? Any latest information you're hearing about the Russian convoy outside Kyiv?
Latest official information which I read is that convoy troops that you're talking about, they were destroyed, and their parts are going back to the border, and they are waiting for the help from the Russian and Belarus army from right now. That's what I would know for this moment.
Okay, thanks very much.
No big threat, but the fights are still going on around Gostomel and far away near Makarov and far away to the border.
Okay, Serhii, you've been getting us constant updates of what's playing out in Kyiv. Maria, you too, and you've been telling us that there have been several explosions also that have been reported in the capital city. But right now, across Ukraine, what's playing out? One city of Kherson has gone to Russia. What's happening, for example, in Kharkiv? Because there have been multiple reports in the last many days of intense fighting in the city.
Looks very tragically for me.
Maria,
sorry, Serhii. I will start and you will pick up. Sorry for interrupting, but we've seen the pictures of Kharkiv being like in a complete disaster with a lot of damage to the buildings in the city center. So just terrible pictures of debris lying around in the city, just in the streets of city, which were peaceful several days ago. So that's also the insane picture. But Kharkiv proved to be a true Ukrainian city, which resisted all Russian invasion, and so far it hasn't been even even an attempt to take over Kharkiv. Kharkiv is a big city, so it's not as easy to surround it or take control of it. For example, like we see the attempts in Enerhodar. Enerhodar is a smaller city which focuses only around the nuclear power plant, but Kharkiv is a big one. Kharkiv is one of the, so to say, million cities in Kyiv, in Ukraine. Sorry. So a lot of people there, a big territory there. So Kharkiv now is suffering the damage, but Kharkiv is a Ukrainian city, and it has given a real strong fight back to Russian attempts to take over it. And as we see, Russians were really severe, trying to show that Kharkiv could be kind of pro-Russian, as we've heard some narratives like years ago or some time ago. But when we see the active combat, active battleground, Kharkiv actually proves to be a very patriotic city, which suffers but which gives fight back and resists Russians.
Thanks very much, Maria and Serhii, for joining us on this extremely big escalation with that nuclear facility, explosions being heard in Kyiv as well. We'll put our focus also in Kherson as well as in Kharkiv, which continues to be the most attacked place. India Today's coverage from Kharkiv yesterday is being quoted everywhere right now. We've had incredible images from that city of the kind of devastation that has taken place. Truly heartbreaking what's happening in different parts of Kharkiv. We will also keep our focus, of course, on the Ukrainian capital. Please stay safe, Maria and Serhii. We'll keep coming back to you. Very quick break, leaving you with images for 30 seconds of what's happened at that nuclear facility in Zaporizhia and the defining images on day 9 of this invasion. We're coming right back.